Continuing on with our previous part, we're now going to explore the managers on the left. As you can see, currently I'm in the Toolpaths Manager. It's highlighted here below, and what we currently have in here is one machine group that was selected. Now if I wanted to, I could go into Machine, for example, and pick another machine. Let's just say the default mill. Now there are two machines listed. If I was to quickly go in and create a toolpath, now you'll notice that the toolpath is also listed here. Since we're not at the point of creating toolpaths in this course, I'm just going to delete it. Below is a list of other managers that you can turn on and off and activate. The Solids Manager will list all of the solid features and solid bodies within your part. So for example, if you had a block and then you put a hole in it and then a fillet, listed in your Solids Manager here would be the block and then the hole and then the fillet. At any time you can go back into these solid features and make modifications to them. Next to the Solids Manager is the Planes Manager. And here is where we can graphically see and organize all of the planes that are in Mastercam, including the ones we've created. For example, if I created a new plane right here, and then located that plane right on the center of this circle, I can then call this plane anything I want. Let's call it Custom Plane 1. Now here is my new Custom Plane 1 that I've created, and it's listed here on the left. So at any time I can go back to it, update it, and use it for toolpaths and geometry creation. Next we have the Levels Manager. This lists the various levels or layers in our part. For example, you could have geometry on one level, like the wireframe geometry for your part. When you don't need it, you simply hide it by turning off the level. You can also have stock created for your part, and fixtures, vices, and so forth. You can reference them when needed, turn them on when needed, and more importantly, turn them off when you don't need them to simplify your interface. We also have the Recent Functions panel. This lists, in this case, the most recent 10 functions that I've used. As an example, if I went into wireframe and I created a line, and then a circle, and then a point, my recent functions list a point, a circle, and then a line. This may not be used often, but it's very, very useful in the case where you're going back and forth between 2 or 3 tools. By using the Recent Functions panel, you don't have to navigate for those tools within the ribbon bar. And finally, on the View tab lists the different managers. This is important to note because you can turn off a manager, for example, the Toolpaths Manager, and now it's no longer listed down here. And the only way to turn it back on would be to select it from here and turn it back on. This is also important because you can customize the interface in Mastercam. For this lesson, we're not going to customize the interface, but as an example, I can drag the Toolpaths Manager and tear it off of the panel, and now it can float on its own. I can drag it to a separate monitor. I can dock it, for example, to the right. I can tear it off the right. And when I'm done, I can hit the X button and close it. This turns off the Toolpaths Manager. So please note, to turn it back on, you do have to select it to turn it on. Then I would drag it back to where it was. And now it's back where I found it. As you work through Mastercam, you'll notice that you find yourself a lot within this Manager section on the left, creating geometry, creating and programming toolpaths, and managing your operations and your planes and your geometry are all done over here.